morning. So listen, I'm doing this early because we were up late last night and the tea sippers threw me off. Well, we collectively together got thrown off, baby, off of that good tea we was on last night with George Clooney and Ghislaine Maxwell, as well as strolling through Jeffrey Epstein's house, baby. We feel like we was I don't know what we felt like we was on, but we was all up in Jeffrey Epstein, Florida home with the raid, FBI raid, and baby, we was looking. You hear me? We was looking for clues. We had a time last night, and although it is a long video, I need to cut it up. I definitely need to cut that up. And then we had some late night stragglers, some tea sippers, show enough supportive tea sippers. So we had to bring her up to speed, and we was up late in the midnight hour. But anyway, I was not able to bring you Candace last night, and because I'm sure she's coming today, I wanted to go ahead and get it out of the way. So let's go. Let's check it out. This is about the Trump family. Now, I know that they had a TPUSA meeting last night, or summit, or conference that JD Vance and Erica put on. I didn't check it out again because we was all up in the roaming through Jeffrey Epstein's Florida home. Baby, when I tell you, we was all up in there critiquing everything, looking for the safe. Oh my God. Me and my tea sippers, we ain't worth nothing. Oh yes. Oh, we also on that one, the attorney for several of the female victims of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, when they had their press conference, the attorney who recommended that the oversight committee reach out to the Epstein estate to get some of the documents in the files, which they did. Well, he made the statement that he don't know why Trump is tripping. Trump knows everything. He's talked to Trump several times back in 2009, several times, and not only did he talk to him, but Trump provided information that helped them in their case against Epstein. I mean, so all of that came out last night. George Clooney, oh my God, he looks sick as hell, but he don't see a problem with trafficking. Nor do he see a problem with trafficking minor girls, young girls. Teenage. I don't remember how exactly they put it. He didn't see a problem with that. And when the interviewer asked him about, well, when he made mention that it was without consent, then he was like, well, I guess, so I'm looking at George Clooney. Ooh, wee, man. And you look sick as hell. Yeah, but anyway, let me get, all of that is on the late video. You may want to upload live. Y'all may want to check that out. before I put it on private and chop it down. Okay, let's go with Candace. Let's see what she's talking about. This was from yesterday.
Well, the Turning Point USA Wikipedia entry got a very interesting update the night after Charlie Kirk was murdered. A certain someone was mysteriously added to the entry for the first time ever, listed as a co-founder of one of the divisions. That's interesting.
Ooh.
I wonder who. Also, I was a bit taken aback. I was obviously away in Wyoming when President Trump honored Charlie Kirk with his very own holiday as a posthumous birthday present. But I was a little taken aback that people really believe that that would somehow put an end to the conspiracies. It's supposed to be over now because look, Charlie Kirk Day. Okay, we'll see about that. And sticking with the Trump family, Don Trump Jr. has come out to share his feelings regarding the FBI investigation. And man, oh man, you guys, I just am wondering how deep this thing really goes because there is not a single member of the Trump family that could have upset me more with his commentary. With the Trump family, Don Trump Jr. has come out to share his feelings regarding the FBI investigation. And man, oh man, you guys, I just am wondering how deep this thing really goes because there is not a single member of the Trump family that could have upset me more with his commentary. And Don Trump Jr. Welcome back to Candace.
We had a student come in. He signed.
Let's start with one of my own back of head conspiracies. It's kind of a long running thought of mine actually over the years. And it relates here to something interesting that I thought of after the show yesterday that I wanted to share with you guys regarding Charlie as a child. Charlie was obviously an extremely gifted child, so much.
Yo. Please come in as you come in. I don't care how many people is showing in the comments, in the clouds. Please double tap the screen on the face of your phone. Show some respect. Double tap. Get the likes up.
So, but he was hyperactive. He was actually always hyperactive. That never went away. He couldn't sit down. He was never idle. He was always working. But he was so gifted that, of course, doctors immediately wanted to put him on ADHD medicine because, well, why is he so hyperactive? Something's wrong with him. Let's drug him. And thankfully, Charlie's parents said, absolutely not. You're not drugging our son. He is actually, in fact, gifted. And they instead opted to send him to a school for the gifted. That's my memory. Charlie told me that story multiple times. And I thought about that. It's just been in my mind lately, living in my mind, because I truly believe that he was probably assigned like life handlers from that moment on. Something probably takes place. If you go to a little X-Men school and they're seeing how smart you are, or you're a part of some program. I was in Extraordinary Learners as a kid, but I think Charlie was in like a special X-Men school. They probably are monitoring those kids. I actually believe that the reason that we have standardized tests is so that the government can track who is performing above the standard, right? Who's performing above the average slave? We better keep an eye on that one. Just my suspicion, my own personal conspiracy theory. I think when my kids are old enough to do standardized tests, because even when you homeschool, you have to do standardized tests, I'm going to be like, just get like a 70%. We don't want any government tracker sent on us. Anyways, I want to jump back into the Turning Point US.
And it's interesting because what I know now about the manipulation and just about everything, I'm questioning everything now. I mean, people saying, oh, she's a conspiracy thinker. Oh, no, it's just like when reality, when the blinders are off, you're able to see things that you maybe, I don't want to say didn't put much effort into it, but you definitely look at things more intensely. And when you see what you see and know what you know, it's just like, no, I am no longer making excuses for anything that I see. I am going to analyze it. I'm going to acknowledge what I see and put it in proper perspective, period. No longer am I just going to go with the flow because that's what they want you to do. with these controlled, manipulated narratives. It is just unbelievable, all of the sabotage that has went forth, all the lies and the deceit. So I feel her on that. I feel her on that. It is awful. It is awful. These people have played God for real. And it's, I don't want to say pissing me off, but it is extremely irritating.
Say story and tell you guys something that's been bothering me about Rob McCoy.
Oh, and yeah, Rob McCoy. Before I forget, it's like the other day, I saved it for the tea sippers. Now they are telling you what you need to do, if you want to detox from the COVID-19 shot. Now they're giving the natural herbs. Go figure. See, when they did not have, if you think back, when they did not have a concoction for the virus, they suggested, or the doctors would tell you what you needed to take in order to build your immune system until they could complete the research on a real quick, fast, in a hurry concoction. Hey, Mysterious. And after they found a concoction that was acceptable, then they said, oh, yeah, well, forget what we told y'all to take naturally. We have a
as the very first detoxification protocol was published in the U.S. medical literature that gives people a chance to take this whole issue into their own hands and use natural substances to begin to help the body clear this very dangerous protein from its cells and tissues. And it involves 3 natural substances that are available over the counter at any type of online retailer or at a natural food store or pharmacy. And they are nattokinase, which is an enzyme that's derived from the fermentation of soy. Bromelain,
and I take this.
I don't need enzymes derived from the
I take it every night.
Bromelain is a U.S. FDA approved drug as a topical treatment for wounds. And then the third is curcumin, derived from turmeric. The doses of nattokinase are 2,000 units twice a day.
You see it, Mysterious?
Milligrams a day, and curcumin 500 milligrams 3 times a day. The duration in this publication, and I'm the first author, so I'm the one to bring this forward, is at least 3 months. I think for people who have taken multiple shots, 12 months or more. So yesterday was a historic day as the very first detoxification protocol was published in the U.S. medical literature that gives people a chance to take this whole issue into their own hands and use natural substances to begin to help the body clear this very dangerous protein from its cells and tissues. And it involves 3 natural substances that are available over the counter at any type of online retailer or at a natural food store or pharmacy. And they are nattokinase, which is an enzyme that's derived from the fermentation of soy. Bromelain, which is a set of enzymes derived from the stems of pineapple. By the way, bromelain is a U.S. FDA approved drug as a topical treatment for wounds. And then the third is curcumin, derived from turmeric. The doses of nattokinase are 2,000 units twice a day, bromelain 500 milligrams a day, and curcumin 500 milligrams 3 times a day. The duration in this publication, and I'm the first author, so I'm the one to bring this forward, is at least 3 months. I think for people who have taken multiple shots, 12.
I think that it would be wise of us all, since they have already predicted that the next virus that's coming will be 10 times worse. I got a cabinet full. Well, not full, but I need to stock up, not just a 1 month supply. I mean, I keep saying every time we get paid, we need to get our natural herbs in order. We need to get them in order. We need to order up, stock up, so that our immune system will be able to sustain whatever is coming without having to, get a shot, so to say. I just think that we need to get prepared for it. We know that the natural herbs work. How do we know? Because they told us so. They told us when they did not have a cocktail. How much of each did he say to take each day? You follow the instructions on the capsules on the bottle. So if it says, let me play it again. Hold on. Yeah, we know it works because when they didn't have a cocktail, they had to send us there to the natural herbs from God. So yeah, it worked.
Detoxification protocol was published in the U.S. medical literature that gives people a chance to take this whole issue into their own hands.
Let me see what my
and
bottle
use
says.
natural substances to begin to help the body clear this very dangerous protein from its cells and tissues. And it involves 3 natural substances that are available over the counter at any type of online retailer or natural food store or pharmacy. And they are nattokinase, which is an enzyme that's derived from the fermentation of soy, bromelain, which is a set of enzymes derived from the stems of pineapple. By the way, bromelain is a U.S. FDA-approved drug as a topical treatment for wounds. And then the third is curcumin, derived from turmeric. The doses of nattokinase are 2,000 units twice a day, bromelain 500 milligrams a day, and curcumin 500 milligrams 3 times a day.
I
The
need to increase
duration
that.
in this publication, and I'm the first author, so I'm the one to bring this forward, is at least 3 months. I think for people
I
to
need to
take the
increase
multiple
my
shots,
intake
12
then.
months or more.
But I take
So
this every
yesterday
day,
was a historic day
every night.
as the very first detoxification
And I
protocol was published
don't even
in the
remember
U.S. medical
why
literature that gives
I
people
started
a chance
taking
to
it.
take this whole issue into their
But
own hands.
that's one of my every night. So thank God I'm already ahead of the game because I already had a problem. I think is and I probably need to am I spinning? Can y'all hear me? Okay, now. Yeah, we have to be consistent. Can y'all hear me now? Give me a 1. It was showing that I was froze. Can y'all hear me? Hold on. Can y'all hear me now? Okay. Yeah, so let me say this before I get back here. We got to be consistent. I mean, we have to incorporate these natural herbs as if it's like getting our nails done every month, though, or however you do, or getting your hair a bind weave, or the extra. We have to start incorporating and being consistent, not just when I feel a particular way. Build the problem is we don't build our immune system. We are not consistent with that. 75%, and I'm speaking on African Americans, don't even take vitamins daily. That trips me out. When I ask my mom, you don't ever take a vitamin? I'm like, No. I was like, well, you used to force the little Flintstone vitamins down my mouth every day. I mean, so when do we stop taking vitamins? Yeah, we got to do better, y'all. They are trying to take us out. I mean, I don't. Okay, so after this one, I'm gonna do an upload about an experiment. They have been trying to take us out for years. Yeah. Okay, let's go. I can go on and on and on about some of the stuff I'm learning now. Build your immune system so that you don't have to get some made up cocktail that we are now finding out that they are putting. Oh man. I got another one. I'll play it later when I do the intentional, where one of the chemists or doctors or whatever he is admitted to putting. I gotta play it, y'all. I'm sorry, I'm going off, but I gotta play it now so that I won't forget, because I have forgot all about it. And he's talking about the original AIDS virus, while we was talking about the monkeys that got loose in Mississippi, one carrying, each one of them carrying a disease. Why y'all, why, what, and why were y'all moving them? Yeah, I'm still not buying that. But as that was happening, one of the doctors came out and talked about injecting it. Hold on, I'm gonna let y'all hear it yourself. Let me find it.
Yeah. And then you can pop in. You mentioned actively spreading AIDS.
There was a unit in from Simon that one of the things was that we went into African countries.
And how was that done exactly?
Through inoculation.
Through vaccines?
Yeah, through vaccines. Pretending to inoculate people and that type of thing.
The idea being to kill black people?
Yeah, to eradicate black people. You must understand the concept was that AIDS was a killer. It was incurable at that point in time, so it was led to believe that if you infected people, it was the quick, non-militaristic approach to eliminate black people.
And that is something you know for a fact, that
Are y'all listening with y'all good ear?
was actively being
Yes.
spread to.
Did y'all hear that with y'all good ear? Oh, where did it go? Where did it go? Did it just drop on his eye? What in the world? Get back here. Get back here. Did y'all hear that? Where did it go? For the ones who didn't hear.
And then you can pop in.
Yeah.
You mentioned actively spreading AIDS.
There was a unit in from Simon that one of the things was that we went into African countries.
And how was
Whistleblower.
that done exactly?
Through inoculation.
It says whistleblower Alexander Jones is a former member of a group called SAIMR, who covertly use vaccines to infect black people throughout Africa for public health.
to eliminate black people.
And that is something you know for a fact, that AIDS was actively being
Yes.
spread to
Yes.
other countries?
Yes. To African countries.
And then you can pop in.
Yeah.
You mentioned actively.
So I'm
spreading
saying only this. Build your immune system so that you don't have to get injected. And we have to stop believing everything that they say. And even when they act like they're getting, oh, look, I'm getting it. I'm getting it too. No, I don't believe it. I believe what they're getting is saline. That's my opinion. That's just my opinion. Okay, let's go.
Do standardized tests, because even when you homeschool, you have to do standardized tests. I'm going to be like, just get like a 70%. We don't want any government tracker sent on us. Anyways,
Don't let them see how smart
the
your
Turning
kids
Point
are.
USA story and tell you guys something that's been bothering me about Rob McCoy. Stick on him. Other than the fact that he lies and he proclaims to be a pastor, is the fact that less than 36 hours after Charlie died, less than 36 hours, exact time, at 10:34 p.m. Eastern on September 11th, the Turning Point USA Wikipedia received a rather interesting update. Pastor Rob McCoy, who had previously never been featured on their Wikipedia page, somehow got his own heading. Just amazing. Let's check out that fresh entry now.
Three.
All of this was planned. Premeditated replacement.
It reads, Rob McCoy and Charlie Kirk founded Turning Point USA Faith, TPUS Faith, together. Along with being a Pentecostal pastor in the Calvary Chapel Association, McCoy is the co-chairman of TPUS Faith. Aligned with the Christian right, McCoy inspired Kirk to amalgamate Christianity and social
Rewriting
conservatism.
history.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, McCoy was known for
Altering
speaking
the
out against
facts.
prohibitions on the holding of in-person church services. Now, the hardest part of being me is that I came up through Turning Point USA, so I just know these lies so quickly, okay? No,
Right.
Rob McCoy was not the person who inspired Turning Point USA Faith. Actually, if anybody could be credited with that, that was like way back in the day at Liberty University, actually. Those pastors, those conversations, I was there for that. We should do like a faith division, whatever it is. He didn't inspire it. And what's so interesting about that entry is that when you then click it, this is how you know this is absurd. When you click the actual notations that are there, when it says he's the co-founder, what are you talking about? Since when is he the co-founder? And it also says that he was the chairman. When you click it, that article, which they pretend is a note, hit the 54, Skylar, not 55, okay? That's from November 24th, 2024. That's their justification for saying he was a founder. Nowhere in that article does it say that he's a founder or the chairman. Nowhere. They just put a fake article, a real article that never said this. And they're like, oh, now it's sourced. It's here forever because nobody ever does their homework. And we're Wikipedia. So you can't question this, obviously. And then you can see the second citations that are used. September, the dates of them, September 10th, September 2025. So it's brand spanking new, you guys. Still has tags on it. Less than 36 hours later. Now, you might be thinking, trying to justify that, as I was, you might be rationally wondering, well, look, there was a lot of interest in Turning Point USA following this assassination. Maybe there wasn't any mention of Turning Point Faith at all. And maybe what they did was afterwards, Wikipedia editors went in there and wanted to just break apart every part and speak about Turning Point USA and dedicate more thorough research to the various projects that Turning Point USA and Charlie Kirk were working on. So they included a new tab about Turning Point Faith. If you're wondering that, that's fair, but the answer to that musing is no. Actually, there already was a long-standing section on the Wikipedia website regarding Turning Point Faith on Wikipedia. In fact, that section is still available if you just scroll down. And it kind of conflicts with the new section that was added 36 hours later. It makes it clear that Charlie Kirk founded TPUSA Faith alone. Here it is in 2021. Charlie Kirk founded TPUSA Faith, an organization that says it is dedicated to recruit pastors and other church leaders to be active in local and national political issues. The organization promotes a culture war agenda and is intended to attract supporters among religious conservatives. Its activities include faith-based voter drives and educating members on TPUSA core values. Now, you can keep reading here. There's no mention of McCoy. So what this means practically is that when Charlie Kirk was alive, that is what the Wikipedia read. And then he died, and suddenly somebody in the world said, well, what about Rob McCoy? Let's add Rob McCoy, who is not known worldwide. Okay, this is even before the memorial event. So you could maybe go, oh, well, maybe once he hit the stage and said, I'm Charlie's pastor, somebody went in there and added it. I don't know, guys. My question is, who made that update? Who was rather instructed to make that update? Because I can tell you how it works for big companies. I was actually desperately looking for a text from Charlie because I know he told me that they, Turning Point USA's organization, had found a guy that could help clean up the Wikipedia pages, right? There are people that do this full time, and they're paid by bigger organizations to clean up their Wikipedia pages, because I remember, and I still have the messages when we first had our pages, which were made by Wikipedia editors, and they were horrific. They said terrible things about us. It was like, Candace is a racist, white nationalist, a crazy person who hates BLM, and she hates women, you know, the whole gamut that you're getting right now about me. And we were horrified when we looked at our Wikipedia pages. And then some time passed, and someone within the organization had found a person who could clean up our Wikipedia pages. Charlie told me, and I cannot remember who that individual was. It'll come to me. It will actually come to me. But I'm just interested. Do you guys think that some random person got inspired to include a whole heading of Rob McCoy 36 hours later? What do you guys think? I don't even think they had even yet announced that Erica Kirk was the chairman and the CEO 36 hours later. Like, that seems that early. Less than 36 hours, I should say, to be very clear. Less than 36 hours later. I don't even think Charlie's body had returned back to Arizona. And yet, somebody was dedicated to Rob McCoy lying and claiming, this person who typed this, that he was the founder, the co-founder, Charlie's pastor. No, he wasn't. The founder of TPUS Faith, the inspiration behind TPUS Faith. No, he wasn't. He was one of the advisors, put on the board of advisory for TPUSA Faith. I know that he gets paid by TPUS Faith, upcoming pastor summits where they're going to teach other Christian Zionist pastors how to use the Bible as a shield for their political ideas. You know, it says right here in the Bible, unfollow Tucker Carlson. There's no other way that we could understand Paul's letter to the Corinthians other than to unfollow Tucker Carlson. That's the vibe I'm getting, the direction that Turning Point was going into, and Rob McCoy was definitively going to benefit financially from that. But founder? Since when? Anyways, now let's turn our attention to other allies. President Donald Trump. Of course, we have to arrive here because Charlie really loved Donald J. Trump. Okay? He loved him. It is unreal going through my messages to really consider how much he dedicated his entire life to him. And I mean, sleepless nights wanting to ensure that he got elected, re-elected, midterm elections, hitting the ground, wearing a MAGA hat. We were everywhere. I was on fire for Trump too. I really believed in Trump. I really believed that if people could wake up to how quickly the media turned on him, that it could be, you know, this conduit to Black Americans understanding that we're being manipulated. Because my focus was all about Black America, right? And what I can say is that from the very moment that we learned the news that Charlie Kirk had passed, I knew spiritually that we were never going to get the full story from officials, right? Not from officials. I can't explain it. I felt that way. And then when Trump rushed to tweet out that, or Truth Social out that photo, an AI photo of him and Charlie with the Star of David in the background, I just knew. I knew the investigation into who murdered Charlie Kirk was officially over, right? The officials wanted nothing to do with it because there was nobody more psychotically insistent that people stop asking questions about Charlie's death immediately. I mean, early hours, right? Than the people that are dedicated to the Israel lobby, right? These individuals, if you go back, people that are pro-Israel for whatever reason, were like, do not look any further into this death. In fact, I'll challenge you, do me a favor. Find me just one real life pro-Israel individual who is expressing that they don't believe that Charlie Kirk was killed by Tyler Robinson. The evidence is overwhelming that Tyler Robinson didn't act alone, that Tyler Robinson didn't fire the shot, that Tyler Robinson didn't use a 30-06. Find me just one person with a platform who's pro-Israel and says, I want this investigation into his death to continue. It's a bit weird, right? It's a bit weird. Dogs, very silent right now. Very, very silent. And there's like a stake on them. They're not moving. It's very weird. They do, all of them, however, I will say, want him to be honored, right? Mostly your money, they want you to give to Turning Point USA. That's the best way, by the way, that you can honor him. Open up your pocketbooks. They don't have enough money there, right? Clearing like $100 million a year. They don't have enough. Open up your pockets, keep his show going, and don't ask questions is obviously the clearest way that we can honor Charlie Kirk. They want him lionized, and they did try to lionize him immediately as the most Judeo-Christian goy ever, right? He was basically, why not just put him in a yarmulke, some of these AI photos? That would make more sense, the direction. I mean, it's so instant. It's like just like trying to establish the legacy, right?
Okay, let me say this. They are aborting Charlie Kirk. Okay. Listen to what you're good at now. They are aborting Charlie Kirk just as much as they are aborting the Epstein files. They're pretty much handling them the same. Charlie Kirk, no, we got the right person. Up, there's nothing in the files. Up, go ahead, move on. I mean, they made a big old stink about him in the beginning. You know, don't say anything bad about it. I mean, just like, oh, we got the files on our desk, and soon, oh my God, you're going to be surprised. A whole bunch of Democrats, and then all of a sudden, bring him up anymore. Move on to something else. Yeah, I'm feeling like that. But again, they measured Charlie Kirk assassination as if it was almost similar to JFK. Okay, remember that.
Immediately, I mean, early hours, right? Than the people that are dedicated to the Israel lobby, right? These individuals, if you go back, people pro-Israel for whatever reason, were like, do not look any further into his death. In fact, I'll challenge you, do me a favor. Find me just one real life pro-Israel individual who is expressing that they don't believe that Charlie Kirk was killed by Tyler Robinson. The evidence is overwhelming that Tyler Robinson didn't act alone, that Tyler Robinson didn't fire the shot, that Tyler Robinson didn't use a 30-06. Find me just one person with a platform
who's cinnamon
pro-Israel and says, I want this investigation into his death to continue.
That's my first latte.
Weird.
Thank you.
It's a bit weird. Dogs, very silent right now. Very, very silent. And there's like a stake on the ground. They're not moving. It's very weird. They do, all of them, however, I will say, want him to be honored, right? Mostly by your money. They want you to give to Turning Point USA. That's the best way, by the way, that you can honor him. Open up your pocketbooks. They don't have enough money there, right? Clearing like $100 million a year. They don't have enough. Open up your pockets, keep his show going, and don't ask questions is obviously the clearest way that we can honor Charlie Kirk. They want him lionized, and they did try to lionize him immediately as the most Judeo-Christian goy ever, right? He was basically, why not just put him in a yarmulke in some of these AI photos? That would make more sense. The direction, I mean, it's so instant. It's like just like trying to establish the legacy, right? And keeping with that, we want this to be honorific, not actually trying to solve what happened here. For Charlie's birthday, President Trump signed into law, or established rather, a holiday. And he decided that October 14th, which is Charlie Kirk's birthday, would be a national day of remembrance for Charlie Kirk. Okay? And I'm going to tell you how I feel about that.
If you live in a Missouri zip code and have 0 home insurance claims in the last 5 years, listen carefully. I was an insurance agent for 30 years, and what I'm about to tell you could save you up to 80% on your home insurance. Here's what the industry doesn't want you to know. Missouri homeowners pay the most for home insurance out of any state in the
Truly Zionists that infiltrated my book club, you did not need to pay the $9.99 to find out how I feel about this. I don't know why people think I'm hiding how I feel. It's very weird. Like, when did people go, oh, we have to try to listen in to hear what she really thinks? I'll tell you what I really think. I think it's crap. Okay? What I said in my book club holds. It's never good when the feds are lining up to give you a holiday. Not good. You know, Martin Luther King vibes. Martin Luther King Jr. I think maybe the feds definitely killed Martin Luther King Jr. But in school we get to learn about him. He's got this whole holiday. Oh, he was such a great. I loved that I have a dream speech. Oh, the feds. Oh man, you're good. You were so great. It's unfortunate that we had to murder you. I don't like it because the best way to honor Charlie Kirk is very obvious.
I care about who did it because I don't want anybody to keep going around and unaliving people, because the reality of it is that he was coming into the truth. They absolutely took him out. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm glad I caught that. Okay, they absolutely took him out because he was coming into the truth. And he didn't want to go along with the pro-Israel. A lot of people still think that this is in alignment to God. I mean, that Israel with Bibi Netanyahu is biblical. And he's fake. And the Israel is fake. He is Polish. He's from Poland. He's taking on somebody's identity. All of that is fraud. I mean, and if I'm gonna be honest, that's how I knew something is up. So had he not been assassinated, I would not have done the research that I've done since then, because he was assassinated. And because he did say he was a Christian believer in Jesus Christ, and some of his verbiage didn't line up. Right, okay, now that I get. Yeah, but so I would not have done any research on what's his name, Bibi Netanyahu. I would not have dug off into Israel. I wouldn't have cared. But because they played with God, my antennas went up. And now I'm able to see a lot of this deceptive stuff. Yeah, it's just overwhelming. But let's go. Let me back it up a little bit. If I step away, I have to step away because I am working and doing this at the same time. So if it takes me a little bit to get back in here to move past the commercial, please bear with me. Let's go.
Weird. Dogs, very silent right now. Very, very silent. And there's like a stake on the ground. They're not moving. It's very weird. They do, all of them, however, I will say, want him to be honored, right? Mostly by your money. They want you to give to Turning Point USA. That's the best way, by the way, that you can honor him. Open up your pocketbooks. They don't have enough money there, right? Clearing like $100 million a year. They don't have enough. Open up your pockets, keep his show going, and don't ask questions is obviously the clearest way that we can honor Charlie Kirk. They want him lionized, and they did try to lionize him immediately as the most Judeo-Christian goy ever, right? He was basically, why not just put him in a yarmulke in some of these AI photos? That would make more sense, the direction. I mean, it's so instant. It's like just like trying to establish the legacy, right? And keeping with that, we want this to be honorific, not actually trying to solve what happened here. For Charlie's birthday, President Trump signed into law or established rather a holiday. And he decided that October 14th, which is Charlie Kirk's birthday, would be a national day of remembrance for Charlie Kirk. Okay? And I'm going to tell you how I feel about that. Truly Zionists that infiltrated my book club, you did not need to pay the $9.99 to find out how I feel about this. I don't know why people think I'm hiding how I feel. It's very weird. Like, when did people go, oh, we have to try to listen in to hear what she really thinks? I'll tell you what I really think. I think it's crap. Okay? What I said in my book club holds. It's never good when the feds are lining up to give you a holiday. Not good. You know, Martin Luther King vibes. Martin Luther King Jr. I think maybe the feds definitely killed Martin Luther King Jr. But in school we get to learn about him. He's got this whole holiday. Oh, he was such a great, I loved that I have a dream speech. Oh, the feds. Oh, man, you're good. You were so great. It's unfortunate that we had to murder you. I don't like it because the best way to honor Charlie Kirk is very obvious. Figure out who killed him first. Let's celebrate the holiday later. I want to figure out who killed him first. And so I'm struck by this. I'm struck by Trump and the lack of demand, the lack of pushing on the narrative. Trump has really represented himself, at least as me, someone who voted for him twice. He represented himself as an individual who didn't trust the federal establishment. This feels like an easy layup here. You're a friend. He viewed you in many ways like a father figure, right? Hey, feds, what's going on here? And I said, maybe he did, because I was in this aggrieved stage, and I really didn't poke my head up until weeks later, when I could stop crying about it every second. And I said, maybe I missed it. Maybe Trump did actually say this is crap. Maybe he did call for an investigation. And we did a search on Truth Social to see how many times President Trump tweeted or Truth Social calling for further investigation into Charlie Kirk's murder. And there was only one tweet that we could find to that effect. And this tweet is not what I would describe as him calling for an investigation into Charlie Kirk's murder, actually. Here it is. This is the only one we could find. Why was the wonderful Turning Point under investigation by deranged Jack Smith and the corrupt and incompetent Biden administration? They tried to force Charlie and many other people and movements out of business. They weaponized the Justice Department against sleepy Joe Biden's political opponents, including me. They allowed the daughter of a judge of one of the corrupt trials against me to become the biggest fundraiser for Biden and Kamala, making millions of dollars for herself and her family. But with her father, the judge, not only refusing to recuse himself, but putting a gag order on me, not allowing any talk about their family corruption and unprecedented conflict of interest. Well, that's not going to age well, the gag order thing, is it? Every leading legal analyst and pundit said this trial was wrong and should not have been allowed to go forward. But it did because of a corrupt judge who will hopefully pay a very big price for his illegal action someday.
If this describes you, you might qualify for up to $3,800 every month. That's because you could have a better chance of qualifying for Social Security disability benefits. Here's where you have an application advantage. To be eligible for benefits, you need to prove your health prevention.
Okay. Scale of 1 to 10, how much is that? Sleepy Joe Biden's political opponents, including me. They allowed the daughter of a judge of one of the corrupt trials against me to become the biggest fundraiser for Biden and Kamala, making millions of dollars for herself and her family. But with her father, the judge, not only refusing to recuse himself, but putting a gag order on me, not allowing any talk about their family corruption and unprecedented conflict of interest. That's not the age well, the gag order thing, is it? Every leading legal analyst and pundit said this trial was wrong and should not have been allowed to go forward. But it did because of a corrupt judge who will hopefully pay a very big price for his illegal actions someday.
I know that made you proud on the inside. I know it did.
Okay. Scale of 1 to 10, how much is that do you feel about Charlie Kirk?
None.
Like, I don't know. I don't know what to think of that. I don't know what to make of that. Like I said, it's pretty obvious.
He don't care about
They
nobody
want
but
us to
himself.
just look at everything and go, case closed. Don't you see? We're all united. We're standing up here. We're giving him a holiday. We're signing that. And
We
got all
got
these
people fired from their
photographers here.
jobs.
Turning Point's chief fundraiser lady here, and she's crying. So obviously she loved Charlie. Kash Patel was there.
Oh, wow.
All the people. Unbelievable to me. They're here. Kash Patel's here, so you can see we're all united. You can totally trust the FBI science now. We're ruling out corruption. That's why we don't know what Jeffrey Epstein files are talking about. Because look, all we had to do was win against Democrats and corruption would be over. Are we still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? I'm sorry. You know, I've realized something, actually and truly. They made, in retrospect, the absolute best decision not inviting me to speak at Charlie's memorial. Like, kudos to whoever made that call, because I would have just been on my best Kanye. I would have jumped on stage and just grabbed the mic from Susie Wiles or someone and said, are you kidding me? What is going on here? What is happening? Even Trump's speech, remember when he just kind of worked in the story about Charlie interviewing a fourth grader and he was referring to Breland Holland? And I'm saying Holland, by the way, because that was his name when Charlie interviewed him. Because Trump wasn't there, had nothing to do with Trump. When Charlie went on that fourth grader's podcast, his name was Breland Holland, and I was next to him. It was me and Charlie. What a weird story for Trump to just obscurely pluck out of thin air to say on stage at his memorial. He wasn't there. It had nothing to do with him. The kid had some connections and, of course, was really sweet and adorable and in fourth grade and super polite and energetic and was like, I'd love to interview you. I can't remember who the guy was who was his dad. I got him to interview with us. And all of a sudden, Trump's just saying this story on stage at Charlie's memorial as if he was there. And he wasn't. So what's going on? Regarding Kash Patel showing his face there, I legitimately do not know how these people do it, okay? I would literally die from shame. I would pass away right immediately from shame before I would show up to that event if I was Kash Patel. Like, did they breed it out? Is this a new breed of human that I don't know about? Where you feel nothing, there's just nothing. It's like the Josh Hammer thing. They don't feel any sense of shame at all. And they can just go, 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 go. And pretend that you're honoring. I don't understand it. I truly don't understand it because I have to be a different species from whatever that is. I would melt. I'd rather melt at the floor than show my face, knowing how badly I was dropping the ball. The whole world was dropping the ball. How do you show up to work, Kash Patel? And the answer is he shows up to work and he demands that everybody stop looking into it because he's got it under control. He's got a very small team of people at the FBI that are allowed to touch anything pertaining to the Charlie Kirk case because, you know, this is transparency. Finally, the adults are in charge and it's going to be the most transparent administration ever, except on the Jeffrey Epstein stuff or the Charlie Kirk stuff, who was a friend of the administration. We got to be a little bit opaque on. Real headline, New York Times yesterday, pertaining to how upset Kash Patel was when he received an inquiry from Joe Kent, Tulsi Gabbard's office. They lead the National Counterterrorism, Center, Joe Kent does, and him inquiring about details into this apparently alarmed Kash Patel. Because Kash Patel was alarmed. He called a meeting, in fact, right? He wanted to investigate the assassination pertaining to Joe Kent. They were like, hey, maybe people overseas were involved in his murder. Maybe they were thinking, Bibi's saying too much. Can we just look at these files? Because it's our job. overseas terrorism. And Kash Patel was so alarmed by this, so alarmed that they would look into these files, that he held a meeting, apparently. Oh, what are you? This is not appropriate. It's not appropriate for you to be looking into this, okay? We don't want you knowing whether or not there was a foreign power or another entity that was involved in this. And this is the reason that Kash Patel decided to have a meeting with Susie Wiles and Joe Kent and Tulsi Gabbard and Trump officials. I think it said J.D. Vance was in this meeting as well, and nothing was accomplished. Because why wouldn't you, if you're the most transparent administration ever, share? Get the help. Hey, we're supposed to be partners in this. Don't we all want to find out
what's funny? I
who
was
killed
looking
Charlie
for that
Kirk?
when I was running a
And the
little
answer is
late.
no, we don't.
I was looking for that. I probably saved it to myself and didn't check there. But yeah, I was looking for that foreign intelligence where he shut that down, Patel. Yeah, yeah, that's a problem.
Up to work, Kash Patel.
Okay, bye, Doreen.
And the answer is he shows up to work and he demands that everybody stop looking into it because he's got it under control. He's got a very small team of people at the FBI that are allowed to touch anything pertaining to the Charlie Kirk case because, you know,
oh, no, she wouldn't vote for him again.
Finally, the adults are in charge.
I don't think
it's
so.
going to be the most transparent administration ever, except on the Jeffrey Epstein stuff or the Charlie Kirk stuff, who was a friend of the administration. We got to be a little bit opaque on. Real headline, New York Times yesterday, pertaining to how upset Kash Patel was when he received an inquiry from Joe Kent, Tulsi Gabbard's office. They lead the National Counterterrorism, Center, Joe Kent does, and him inquiring about details into this apparently alarmed Kash Patel. Says Kash Patel was alarmed. He called a meeting, in fact, right? He wanted to investigate the assassination pertaining to Joe Kent. They were like, hey, maybe people overseas were involved in his murder. Maybe they were thinking, BB's saying too much. Can we just look at these files because it's our job, overseas terrorism? And Kash Patel was so alarmed by this, so alarmed that they would look into these files, that he held a meeting, apparently. Oh, what are you? This is not appropriate. It's not appropriate for you to be looking into this, okay? We don't want you knowing whether or not there was a foreign power or another entity that was involved in this. And this is the reason that Kash Patel decided to have a meeting with Susie Wiles and Joe Kent and Tulsi Gabbard and Trump officials. I think it said J.D. Vance was in this meeting as well, and nothing was accomplished. Because why wouldn't you, if you're the most transparent administration ever, share? Get the help. Hey, we're supposed to be partners in this. Don't we all want to find out who killed Charlie Kirk? And the answer is no. We don't all want to find out who killed Charlie Kirk. I think that's apparent, right? It's pretty.
Which is why they have not discussed the police report, the actual police call. They were looking for a guy all black with the tactical helmet on that we saw. He was definitely on top of the roof. Yeah, they have not discussed that at all. Why? Yeah.
Pretty obvious that we do not all want to find out who murdered Charlie Kirk.
Right.
Because they're not acting right.
Because they know they did it.
Right
I've
now.
been telling y'all they did
And
it.
it's stunning. We are making so many discoveries in this case, and I have to tell you guys, we're getting close. We're getting low. Very close, I think, to what actually happened on that day. And I'm getting the suspicion that there were some foreign entities involved. So Joe Kent, Tulsi Gabbard, you guys, by any chance, see this episode, keep going, right? We're just going very slowly here. Set the bait. We're going to see who lies about what. And when we get back from this break, I'm going to tell you another stunning turning point lie that came out. And you're going to start feeling some type of way about the people who are all apparently mourning him. And the best way to mourn, of course, is to lie. We'll be right back after a quick break.
Speedy and smart resistance machine. So much to cover. Let's go. Well, it's a smart resistance trained machine. So think of all the different resistance exercises you're capable of doing and then pack them all into one machine, but then smother them in technology. Well, that's this. If you tilt one side more than the other, it will completely turn off the resistance instantly. I've done this multiple.
All right, you guys, I've been talking a lot about Riverbend Ranch because I absolutely love their steaks. Their Black Angus beef is famous for its great flavor. Riverbend Ranch, Candace. All right, so Mikey McCoy is missing from the Charlie Kirk show. He seemed very happy to jump in that seat thereafter. I think we were all expecting, after this video went viral, that we would hear from him regarding his actions. Candace.
He missing.
All right, so Mikey McCoy is missing from the Charlie Kirk show. He seemed very happy to jump in that seat thereafter. I think we were all expecting, after this video went viral, that we would hear from him regarding his actions there. As soon as Charlie got shot, we were told by Andrew Colvett, who is now missing from today's episode of the Charlie Kirk show, that it was because Charlie was very explicit. Charlie was very explicit. Charlie said, if I ever get shot at an event, the left side of my neck, the first thing I want you to do is not help me, okay? And how could we not do anything but trust the science here? We just gotta trust the science. We'll never know, okay? Because I guess they're not gonna show us call logs, they're not gonna do anything to just easily put away any of these quote unquote conspiracies that are unhealthy. I wanted to show you this comment. It was actually under his show yesterday. Well, actually, it might have been the day before that, regarding Charlie's unique instructions to his friends, right? This is a comment. Charlie's instructions are actually insane. Number one, leave me with no help or first aid. That is true. He was not administered any first aid. I have the close-up videos of that. Very strange to me because that's what they're supposed to be experts in. No gauze taken at nothing, not even securing the wound as they carried him to the hospital. And I do not accept, by the way, that it was because things were crazy. He literally pays you millions of dollars of years to know what to do, security team, when things are crazy. Are you still employed? Did you fail at your one job? I don't know. We're going to find out. Anyways, his second instruction, this lady writes, film your reaction in selfie mode. Charlie must have wanted it. It's what he would have wanted, I think. He would have wanted it. I don't know. 3, take all the SD cards just in case. Secure the footage and never reveal it to anyone but the feds, who have always been so trustworthy. And 4, quickly cover the scene in case anybody wants to get justice for me. Yeah, that really is. Those are some instructions. Did Charlie Kirk have any real friends? What do you guys think? Because the more that time goes by, the more upset I am at everyone who's lying about every little thing. And I wouldn't mean literally little things, right? Not even the big things, but the little things. That's why the Catholic point made me so upset when I very gently said, oh, we thought he was close to converting, he was going to the mass, and then suddenly Operation Mocking Pastor or Mocking Evangelical Influencer went out, and they all were like, that's not true. And I'm like, what do you mean it's not true? Don't be absurd. Why lie? I reflect on that moment, and I think it was right after the memorial service, a couple of days after the memorial service, where Alex Clark released that interview with her and Andrew Colvett, and they struggle sessioned through that. They were like, no, they were both committed evangelicals, and him and Erica, and he liked the smells and the bells. He loved the architecture, but there was no more substance for him. I really struggled with that, and I struggle with it even more now that I know that Charlie Kirk, there's been a lot of questions about what about his burial? How come we haven't seen anything about his burial? We saw so much, and then we saw nothing. And the reason that's like a big hush-hush secret is because Charlie had a Catholic funeral mass, and he is buried in a Catholic cemetery. Yeah, but really, it was about the architecture. I want you to understand. Why the little lies? I think we can only speculate that because they're worried about the money, right? They do not want to upset the very same people who were pressuring Charlie Kirk. And I love when they say, oh, another thing Andrew said in that interview, they're only a small portion of our donors relative to the rest of our donors. Okay, but are they cutting the bigger checks? Like Bob Showman took $2 million away. That's got to mean something. If you brought in $70 million last year and he took away $2 million just like that, are they cutting the bigger checks? Because that's relevant. And I think the answer to that is yes. I think they insisted and are pressuring them, as we are hearing, to maintain the idea that Charlie died pro-Israel. But to do that, to have the stomach to do that, to know that you knew where he was buried and attended that mass, and you had the stomach to sit down and to gaslight me. That's what you did. You were gaslighting me, actually. Me, right? Didn't say my name, but you were referring to me, right? Oh, no, he was just post-committee evangelical. What's wrong with everybody? Why does nobody have just I don't know, the spirit moving within them? Just like, I don't know. I would just be sickened with myself. I can't lie like that. I can't lie anywhere close to that. I can't even fib. And you're able to just sit up there like a soldier and just delude everybody, delude the masses, and sometimes do it through tears to be extra convincing. That's crazy to me. It's wild to me. Speaking on the note of who his friends are, I will tell you there was no one, like I said at the top of the show, that could have upset me more than Don Jr. Okay, Don Jr. was one of Charlie's friends, like brother, literally a brother. Don Jr., by the way, I would say, was one of the people who very much helped to build Turning Point USA. He was there, okay? He did a ton of college campus events with me and Charlie, and we were always so grateful. I remember when Don Jr. started following me, I have the text messages with Charlie. I was like, oh my, Don Jr. is following me. This is amazing. He would retweet me. The beginning of the Candace story includes Don Trump Jr. being probably, without question actually, the most committed Trump family member to Turning Point USA's early story, okay? And like I said, I know how Charlie felt about Don Trump Jr. So when Megyn Kelly...
So yesterday, it kind of came up about Charlie Kirk and his funeral or lack thereof. And I kind of made mention that it was going to come up in this live. He was buried Catholic. And he was part of pro-Israel with the Zionists. I mean, so was he going along with it for the money? Or did he just really come into the truth about pro-Israel and the deception right before he denounced it? And nobody has said that he was buried in a Catholic church. His funeral was there. I mean, so none of them went? Or they just kept it hush-hush? I found that interesting, very interesting. They know how to keep a secret, don't they? They absolutely know how to keep a secret. Charlie Kirk was funeral, it was in a Catholic church. Now, since what's his name? Netanyahu, did he go? I mean, he said he loved him some Charlie. Trump loved him some Charlie. Everybody need to stop everything that they doing and praise Charlie Kirk. Did they go? Bow your head and pray. Flag flying half step. Don't say a ugly word about it. You gonna lose your job. Your passport revoked. You are being deported back. I mean, what? And y'all didn't tell nobody? Wow. It just keeps getting creepy. And creepy every day. But come on, Candy. I'm sorry. Candace, keep talking.
He would retweet me. The beginning of the Candace story includes Don Trump Jr. being probably, without question actually, the most committed child to me. Speaking on the note of who his friends are, I will tell you there was no one, like I said at the top of the show, that could have upset me more than Don Jr. Okay, Don Jr. was one of Charlie's friends, like brother, literally a brother. Don Jr., by the way, I would say, was one of the people who very much helped to build Turning Point USA. He was there, okay? He did a ton of college campus events with me and Charlie, and we were always so grateful. I remember when Don Jr. started following me, I have the text messages with Charlie. I was like, oh my, Don Jr.
He was watching and
me. This is
scouting.
amazing. He would retweet me. The beginning of the Candace story includes Don Trump Jr. being probably, without question actually, the most committed Trump family member to Turning Point USA's early story, okay? And like I said, I know how Charlie felt about Don Trump Jr. So when Megyn Kelly asked him what he thought about the investigation into Charlie's assassination, I was expecting him to say, I think it's crap. That is not what he said. In fact, he did his best not to answer the question, as you'll see, and then Megyn Kelly holds him to it, and then you'll hear what he says. Take a listen.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete...
How do you feel about the investigation into Charlie's death? Can we have faith in it? Do you feel like it's being well handled?
So far, listen, so far so good. I think, I've had this conversation with a lot of the guys that have been, very involved from the beginning, and others that are a big part of that movement that are, are going to take, more of a role. Guys like JD, like, hey, he believes we have to keep this going. People, myself, hey, I did a lot of them, but I got to do even more. We got to keep this going. There's never going to be a replacement for Charlie Kirk. You can't plug that in. But if we can find 10 people that can do 10% of what he did, and they go all in and do that, we can keep that alive. And honestly, we all owe that to him.
Just to round back, do you have confidence in the investigation?
Especially
Should we have confidence in this FBI investigating?
I do. And I mean, I don't know. I don't like it when the people have the private, but I've spoken to everyone, around, and Erica, I do have confidence. And when I start seeing some of the other stuff, it's like, man. And by the way, just so we're clear, as you all probably know, if you're here, you probably follow me a little bit. Like, I'm about as conspiratorial as it gets within the realm of sanity, for good cause, right? I think I was the guy that first said, like, the difference between a conspiracy theory and the truth is usually about 6 months. I was the guy canceled for pushing all of the obvious things that were conspiracy theories, that, Wuhan or whatever it may be, lab virus leak. The problem is that there is a cottage industry of just clicks and people that are more than happy to, to profiteer, off of that. Again, I'm not saying that a lot of this stuff isn't real and isn't true, and I've been pushing all of that, but some of the stuff does get a little bit off the rails, and I think, you're really, it's been used even by the other side as a way to distract from the bigger picture of what happened to him, of what the other side has proven that they are actually willing to do.
The other side.
Man, oh man, so much I want to say to that clip. Okay, the first thing that I want to say is that Don Trump Jr. is not a bad guy. A bad guy. Don Trump Jr. is probably maybe akin in some ways to Mikey McCoy. I look at Mikey McCoy, I don't know Mikey McCoy at all, and I don't think he's an evil person. I think he is in the shadow of his father, right? I think he's in the shadow of his father. I think Don Jr. has been probably in the shadow of his father his entire life, because what he's saying when he begins to credentialize himself and said, oh, I was out with the Wuhan, said this about COVID, blah, blah, that's all true. That's the real Don Trump Jr. He was actually one of the people that was the most vocal about the Jeffrey Epstein files until Dad said, are we still talking about Jeffrey Epstein, right? And that's what I mean when I say someone who is in the shadow of his father. And it's a tough situation to be in. So I do want to be charitable in terms of thinking of that particular dynamic when Dad is saying this needs to be done, and you have to carry on knowing that you had a real relationship with Charlie, because you did have a real relationship with Charlie. But Don, from me to you, it's better to say nothing, okay? It's better to say, I'm just not going to answer that question. The best way you could honor Charlie Kirk, if you can't fight for him for some reason,
did y'all hear that with y'all good ear?
Is to simply
when your
say
daddy said it has to be
until Dad said, are we still talking about Jeffrey Epstein, right? And that's what I mean when I say someone who is in the shadow of his father. And what he's saying when he begins to credentialize himself and said, oh, I was up at the Wuhan, said this about COVID, blah, blah, that's all true. That's the real Don Trump Jr. He was actually one of the people that was the most vocal about the Jeffrey Epstein files until Dad said, are we still talking about Jeffrey Epstein, right? And that's what I mean when I say someone who is in the shadow of his father. And it's a tough situation to be in. So I do want to be charitable in terms of thinking of that particular dynamic when Dad is saying this needs to be done, and you have to carry on knowing that
it needs to be done.
You had a real relationship with Charlie, because you did have a relationship with Charlie. But Don, from me to you, it's better to say nothing. Okay? It's better to say, I'm just not going to answer that question. The best way you could honor Charlie Kirk, if you can't fight for him for some reason, is to simply say nothing. Because I looked at this clip and it bothered me for a lot of reasons, Don, because I know who you are. I know who you are. You're a hunter. You love to hunt, Don, right? Every picture of you, you're in the wilderness. Your whole life, you love to be in the wild. In fact, you taught me a lot about the wild and a lot about hunting. And my favorite fishing experience is actually with you, right? Fighting back the sea lions or the seals in British Columbia. You know nature, and I'm not going to ask you to go back against the nature of honoring your father, but I am going to ask you not to lie. And as a hunter, you are not lying, and this is truly what you believe. You trust the investigation. I'm going to need you to make a video saying that you believe that Charlie was shot by a .30-06 in the neck, and that somehow, through the miracle of God, Charlie's neck stopped a .30-06. Not only stopped a .30-06, but was pretty much in good shape, not even destroyed. His neck was not even destroyed by a .30-06. That kind of a miracle, Don. You know hunting, you know guns, and so I'm asking you if this is truly what you believe.
Yeah, he's not going to do that.
To clarify that matter.
Yeah.
Make a video, sit down with me, look me in the eye, and say, Candace, I really do think that Charlie, our friend, 30-06 in the neck. And that somehow, through the miracle of God, Charlie's neck stopped a 30-06. Not only stopped a 30-06, but was pretty much in good shape, not even destroyed. His neck was not even destroyed by a 30-06. That kind of a miracle.
Is it possible, Don?
You know hunting, you know guns, and so I'm asking you if this is truly what you believe. To clarify that matter, make a video, sit down with me, look me in the eye, and say, Candace, I really do think that Charlie, our friend, because you are his friend, you were his brother, stopped a 30-06 with his neck, which stayed intact. You won't say that, Don. You won't say that because it's untrue, and I think that spiritually it would mess with you, and the hunters that are listening know that you don't believe that. You know too much, okay? So again, I'm going to ask you, you cannot say anything. I understand the ties that bind. I understand Jared and Ivanka and their investments in Israel and the pressure that's coming from the Zionists, to simply be quiet. As his other friend, you were his brother.
So Jared, your sister,
stopped a 30-06
who gave up her,
neck,
gave up God for the Zionists. Okay.
You won't say that, Don.
Okay, let's go.
You won't say that because it's untrue, and I think that spiritually it would mess with you, and the hunters that are listening know that you don't believe that.
Now let me say this: a loyalty. You can't be loyal to family, friends, or nobody if you can't be loyal to God. You got to be loyal to God first. I think we get that messed up. We got loyalty starts with Christ before it starts with anybody on earth. That's if you're a believer now. If you're not a believer, I don't know what to tell you. I ain't never played with God like that. But if you're a believer in Jesus Christ, you can't deny Christ. That's Judas, right? Well, that's what them Zionists are. Yeah. Loyalty starts with God first, John Jr. If you are the one of the only ones that really got some sense and know what's really going on and trying your best. So if you don't do it for Charlie, do it for God's sake. For God's sake. Clear that up.
So again, I'm going to ask you. You cannot say anything. I understand the ties that bind. I understand Jared and Ivanka and their investments in Israel and the pressure that's coming from Zionists.
Right there, the
to
investment in Israel.
Quiet.
So
with this neck, which stayed intact. You won't say that, Don. You won't say that because it's untrue, and I think that spiritually it would mess with you. And the hunters that are listening know that you don't believe that. You know too much. Okay? So again, I'm going to ask you. You cannot say anything. I understand the ties that bind. I understand Jared and Ivanka and their investments in Israel and the pressure that's coming from the Zionists to simply be quiet. As his other brothers and sisters and people in the movement, people who don't even know Charlie, get to the bottom of this.
The cult.
Because everything we're being sold is absolute BS. That's my request to you, Don.
I am currently on day 3, the last day of my juice cleanse that I got from
the movement.
Anyways, moving on from that, I do, on the topic of Israel, want to let you know that I was very excited to sit down and have a conversation, which we will be releasing on Friday with Norman Finkelstein. Norman Finkelstein was probably the single greatest contributor to me being sort of just smacked in the gut about Gaza, learning about Gaza. I think most people didn't know, genuinely, like me, just did not know anything about the history of Gaza, knew nothing about it because it has been such a censored topic in America. And we were all told that, it was our job after all of the Holocaust movies and the Holocaust indoctrination that took place in the school system to be triggered at the idea that anybody could have a thought against the modern state of Israel, which is only there because 6 million Jews perished in the Holocaust. We all grew up with that, right?
Right.
We grew up being indoctrinated not to ask a single question when it comes to Israel. That's the reality. And Norm Finkelstein, whose parents survived, one of his parents survived Auschwitz, was the reason I had him on my show right after October 7th, sometime shortly thereafter when I was at the Daily Wire. And what he told me horrified me, and it pushed me to become more educated on the topic. And I was so grateful that I was able to sit down with him again, this time on my totally own show. And I'm just going to show you a little trailer for that. Take a listen.
The Economist magazine, it describes Gaza as, quote, a human rubbish heap. The leading UN official on Gaza describes it as, quote, a toxic dump. For the people of Israel, Gazans are vermin. They're garbage. They're human refuse.
You guys were the ones that insisted
Totally
that we all have a perspective on October 7th. Then when we looked and we pierced that veil, we went, oh my goodness, how was I ever for Israel? And now you want us to shut up.
There's a problem here. A billionaire class of Jewish supremacists are now flagrantly using money as a blackmail weapon to silence not just criticism of Jews, but silence criticism of an ongoing genocide.
Let's repeat that.
The leading.
We grew up being indoctrinated not to ask a single question when it comes to Israel. That's the reality. And Norm Finkelstein, whose parents survived, one of his parents survived Auschwitz, was the reason I had him on my show right after October 7th, sometime shortly thereafter when I was at the Daily Wire. And what he told me horrified me, and it pushed me to become more educated on the topic. And I was so grateful that I was able to sit down with him again, this time on my totally owned show. And I'm just going to show you a little trailer for that. Take a listen.
Good for you.
The Economist magazine, it describes Gaza as, quote, a human rubbish heap. The leading UN official on Gaza describes it as, quote, a toxic dump. For the people of Israel, Gazans are vermin. They're garbage. They're human refuse.
You guys were the ones that insisted that we all have a perspective on October 7th. Then when we looked and we pierced that veil, we went, oh my goodness, how was I ever original? And now you want us to shut up.
There's a problem here. A billionaire class of Jewish supremacists are now flagrantly using money as a blackmail weapon to silence not just criticism of Jews, but silence criticism of an ongoing genocide.
You guys, it is a deeply informative interview.
We'll be there.
We did, I think, just over 2 hours discussing everything. And if you are someone who you're in limbo on the topic, I was certainly in limbo on the topic a couple of years ago. I no longer am in limbo, and you want to hear it from somebody who both has the credentials, the experience, and also happens to be Jewish. And this is definitely the interview to listen to. Again, we're releasing that on Friday. Okay, going to do a couple of sponsors before I get to
I can't wait.
Comments and questions.
I want to come
All right, you guys, the fall
knowledge of the truth.
Acid, and it's organically farmed, so it's exclusively for my listeners if you use .com. All right, so yesterday in the comments we had a few people who were asking about the new
please double tap the face of your phone if you're on your phone, or if you're on your computer, hit the thumbs up, or there's 3 dots at the top. If you could hit those 3 dots for me, I would greatly appreciate it. If not, I will have to go ahead and end this because I feel like that's being disrespectful to be in here over an hour, almost an hour and a half, and you haven't hit the like button. I mean, why stay if you don't want to hit the like button? Yeah, go ahead, double tap the face of your screen. I'll be back when the lights are up. Somebody's going to say, oh, that is so mean. That is so... Why was you... The same... That's how I feel about you being in here all this time and not hitting the like button. That's the same feeling. Jake, what you mean? Chill. What do you mean, chill? What do you mean, chill? Did you hit the like button? What do you mean, chill? Explain that. So maybe I'm reading into that wrong. Explain what you mean, chill. Who said I wasn't chill? I mean, so what you mean? Bye. Get your ass out. But guess what? You're gonna be gone forever. Forever. Yeah, forever. Never come back. Like I said, if you're in here, double tap the face of your screen. Hit the thumbs up or the 3 dots at the top. Yeah. Didn't know you was here, Jake, and won't miss you when you gone. How about that? And I made sure that you're gone permanently. People kill me trying to run my show for me. I didn't ask for your assistance. I just said hit the like button. And if not, go ahead and remove yourself. And then, like I said, I'll be back when the lights are up. Thank you.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go.
Lose their mind. It looks like they're just panicking on live TV during their press conferences, during press appearances. For example, you have Congresswoman McClain, MAGA Republican Congresswoman, saying,
So before anyone throws around cheap insults like one Democrat member did on social media this week, and I'll just read it. Lazy Mike Johnson has made himself irrelevant and pointless. You know, I always find that funny. When you can't beat us on the issues, what do children do? They personalize it.
the leader of your MAGA cult, Congresswoman McClain,
Cult.
posts videos of himself taking diarrhea on peaceful protesters. Is that where you're going? Y'all are not showing up to work. So I think it's a legitimate thing to point out that MAGA Republicans in the House have forced the House to work only, 12 days from the past 100? Is your skin so thin that that's what bugs you? Then you have MAGA Republican Congress member Tom Emmer says, let me tell you the issue on SNAP here. Oh, you're gonna lecture us on that, Emmer? You're playing this clip.
On the issue of SNAP, Democrats are bending over backward to oppose Trump, using taxpayer dollars to fund.
The lies kill me. Oh my God.
A lawsuit by 22 attorney generals in blue states, Democratic attorney generals, to say that there's something called a SNAP contingency fund that has about $5 to $6 billion in it to be used precisely for purposes like this. There's literally a bank account. It's written into the law about SNAP. It says it. And you're attacking Democrats for wanting to give people SNAP? Oh, okay. And then Emmer goes on and then wants to be rewarded for taking away $200 billion from rural hospitals and then returning $50 billion. So stealing $150 billion, pretending that they're giving $50. If I stole $1,000 from you and then returned $200 to you, I would have still stolen $800 from you, and I don't get a reward for giving you $200 back. But according to MAGA logic, I guess that's why Trump had so many bankruptcies and why he was convicted of felonies. Play this clip.
And the Democrats have contradicted themselves every turn with no exit strategy in sight. They tried to make their shutdown fight about health care, while simultaneously demanding that we cut $50 billion in rural health care and give taxpayer-funded health care to illegal aliens.
Going back to that one, well, really? I mean, as the American people are getting their notices already or any day now that their healthcare prices, their healthcare premiums will go up $24,000 a year, some people.
We've got breaking news tonight. It is day 283 of the second Trump administration, and right now, President Trump's highly anticipated meeting with his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping is underway in South Korea. The leaders of the world's two largest economies are discussing a trade truce.
Please double tap the face of your phone. Get the likes up.
Moments ago, as their meeting kicked off.
We will be having some discussions. I think we've already agreed to a lot of things, and we'll agree to some more right now. But President Xi is a great leader of a great country.
We do not always see eye to eye with each other, and it is normal for the two leading economies of the world to have frictions now and then. And in the face of winds, waves, the helm of China-US relations should stay the right course.
Let's get right to MSNBC senior White House correspondent Vaughn Hilliard, who is in South Korea with the president. Also with us, Peter Baker, chief White House correspondent for the New York Times, and Dan Nathan, CNBC contributor and co-host of the Risk Reversal podcast. Vaughn, you were traveling with the president. What can you tell us about this meeting so far and the trip?
Right, he's here in Busan, South Korea, and they've been in the room together for about 45 minutes now. I'm glad that you started off the show by calling it a trade truce that is being negotiated, Stephanie, because the president is touting this as a potential trade agreement, a trade deal. But really, when you look at the details of what is so far been publicly discussed about what the president is hoping to ultimately execute on, would amount to a lowering of temperatures, if you will, from the escalatory tariffs that he began putting in place back in February. He first increased tariffs on China and then ultimately increased those tariffs up to 145%, effectively placing an embargo on products coming into the United States. And in response, China began putting those
he looked at him like, shut up, you talk too much.
Rare earth minerals. And this is where you have seen now suddenly the president lower the tariff rate down to 55%. There is also demands from China to have access to semiconductors manufactured in the United States. The president has said that he wants China to do more on fentanyl, but when asked exactly what he wants China to do on the illegal shipments of fentanyl, he didn't have an exact answer. He wants President Xi to sign off on a final TikTok deal. This is a moment here where the president is telling the American public that, you know, help in the agricultural industry is on the way, that China's going to begin buying soybeans again. But I think it's important to note through this entire conversation, Stephanie, is that this is the second trade war that he has initiated with China. And there was little fruit that came from the first trade war. He ended up actually providing $28 billion in taxpayer subsidies to make up for farmer losses. And he repeatedly, back in 2018, 2019, promised that American agricultural producers would see the benefits and that there would be long-term gains. He's made the same promise here in 2025. At this point, here in October, though, we haven't seen that yet. That is why this meeting is such high stakes here for the president.
You've said Trump is negotiating through economic coercion. What do you mean by that?
This is, you know, the last time I was here, Stephanie, was in April 2017 with then Vice President Pence, who, right, throughout his entire career had argued on behalf of free trade,
Candace,
right, against tariff threats and policies that ultimately he would have to become a defender of over his 4 years in office. And this is where
please hit the like button.
Went straight to not just tariff threats, but tariffs themselves. And I think that is
That
where,
and
you know,
other things like Epstein files are standing up for biblical values.
A very key geopolitical ally here up against the likes of North Korea and China. And the president this summer put a 25% tariff
let integrity rule. Let integrity be the guide.
Makeup and skincare industry here, and he said that
build your character and tell the truth.
Because the U.S. tariffs on his products, and that they are now, you know, having to look potentially elsewhere for markets. And that is where the president, in exchange for lowering their tariffs to 15%, he had South Korea, the new president, effectively agree to give him $200 billion in cash. And so that's where, for the president, it's not so much negotiating.
And for the people who
coercion, and he is very, very deliberately
think
said that
Candace
he is getting victories.
Has not come to terms with her supporting Trump. Let's hear this. But y'all need to get the likes up. I'm finna get up out of here. I can't stand it when people come over here just to listen. You know, get my views and opinion and then run somewhere else and act like it's their views and opinions because they could make sense of it without my help. But then won't hit the like button, won't support, won't send a dime, won't do nothing. I wish y'all would just go someplace else. Seriously. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Shoot. Because that's disrespectful to me.
Donald Trump regrets telling other people. Candace Owens regrets voting. Donald Trump regrets telling other people to support Donald Trump. Candace Owens regrets voting. Donald Trump regrets telling other people to support Donald Trump. Hell of a thing. Here it is.
Are you done with Donald Trump, or could you see a way that you would end up perhaps voting for him? I mean, you can't run again, obviously, but would you support him publicly again?
So I want to be clear. I don't regret voting for Donald Trump above Kamala. I think he was the better candidate, certainly a better candidate above Joe Biden. But what I will say is that he's been a chronic disappointment, and I feel embarrassed that I told people to go vote for him because this wasn't going to happen, and it is happening.
That means she regrets voting for him. Put it at full mass. Candace, you are talking out of both sides of your ass. If you are embarrassed about voting for somebody and you regret, basically, because of this embarrassment, telling other folk to support.
Big news. DraftKings Sportsbook is coming to Missouri. You'll be so dialed in to every play that you...
I'm not going to ask y'all to get the likes up. Again, I'm just going to shut it down. Double tap the face of your phone. Please. Hit the three dots at the top if you're on your computer, or just hit the thumbs up. Or leave. I need to see it starting to go up before I start it back.
Nevada this week became the 25th state to add its name to a lawsuit against the Trump administration.
Not Nevada. Red states are suing Trump for screwing their voters.
People from going hungry during the government shutdown. The Attorney General of Nevada came out this week saying, quote, the Trump administration's choice, which that is a very important word, choice.
So, Arizona, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Hawaii, Illinois, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, North Carolina, Oregon, Rhode Island. Oh, wow. Wisconsin, Washington, D.C., Vermont, and D.C., as well as the governors of Kansas, Kentucky, and Pennsylvania joined the national lawsuit. Wow. Wow.
So we now have
wow.
25 states plus the District of Columbia that have joined into this lawsuit. And believe it or not, as we see with Nevada, we're starting to get more and more red states signing on, including some very deep red states. Nevada,
red. Especially when they realize that majority of the people on snaps is white. I love it. I love it. When they thought it was just a black thing, they had something to say. Huh? Oh, the real statistics is out. What? More white people on food stamps than black? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. What? Well, we can't have white people starving. Oh, wow. Somebody gave him fake numbers, and he thought it was a black thing. He thought he was going to starve out black people. No. Statistics do not show that. So I absolutely do understand why red states are now jumping on board to suit the Trump and his administration for cutting out SNAP. Because the majority on food welfare and fraud is white people. Well, will you look at that?
And believe it or not, as we see with Nevada, we're starting to get more and more red states signing on, including some very deep red states. Nevada, obviously,
Deep red.
that have joined into
Deep
this
red. Beet
lawsuit.
red.
And
Hello,
believe it or not,
Antoinette.
as we see with Nevada, we're starting to get more and more red.
Well, I tried to tell people, they don't want to believe me, that welfare was not created for black people. And if it was not created for black people, then I would assume the majority on it is white people. But these new generations who don't do any research, hey doggy, who don't do any research, just go with whatever anybody tells them, which a lot of times is fake propaganda, controlled narratives. They just take it and run with it. Just like they thought that they were the chosen ones, and they thought that we derived from them instead of them coming from us. And they are having a hard time believing that we did not come from them and they massa. Yeah. They just cannot believe that we came to this color because they mixed with us by the massa. No. I'm going to say it again. They came from us. We didn't come from them. But they believe the hype. A lot of black people believe that hype. A lot of information has been whitewashed. Hey, Vicky. They hear the parents and they the textbooks and everything else. They are trying to rewrite history right now. Trump is trying to make himself a king. He wants to go down in the books like he is the Hitler of the United States, and that's what's going to be in the textbooks, and that's going to be, known in history. They're not going to say he made that up in his demented head. No. And especially since they are saying that Wikipedia is pro-Israel, and what they document is in their favor. So yeah, no, food stamps and welfare was never created for black people. I've been telling them that. So yes, I understand why the red states, not just red states, they saying deep red. I mean, deep red. I mean, so they, woo-wee. I mean, so they are white hooded folk. See, they didn't realize SNAP was the new modern terminology for food stamps, is what I heard. They thought that was something different than food stamps. That was just for black people. Them niggers. Yeah, them niggers. Oh, yeah.
Red states signing on, including some very deep red states. Nevada, obviously considered a bit of a swing state.
Modern Roman
but we've got
Catholics.
some solid decades-long red states that are also suing the Trump administration.
I'm saying
for their
Zionists.
choice to cut SNAP benefits.
If they are into any of that foolishness, hate for any race, hate in their heart, a strong dislike for foreigners, sick people, old people, hungry people, homeless. If you have a strong distaste for all of that, I'm gonna move you over to the Zionist, Antichrist, satanic, because it's not of God. And if you say you are a Christian and you say that you are believing in Jesus Christ, and you find that that's how you think, and you know good and dang well, or you should know good and dang well, that that is not lined up with God and his word, his gospel, then I'm going to say you have a heart condition. And since we know that God will judge your heart, I recommend you get your heart right. He ain't gonna judge nothing but your heart, and your heart will be lined up with your actions. So we got to be careful. No, I'm not saying that, Antoinette. Cause doing our research, he made peace with his brother. He made peace with his brother. And when his brother thought, when Jacob thought that he was coming to with his army, he embraced him. Right before God changed his name to Israel. So no, I don't agree with you, Antoinette. They made peace. It's when Jacob cried out to God for help, because he knew his brother was coming. Him and his army. And they were outnumbered. He cried out to God. God came forth. Thank you, Southern Queen. Yeah. Once he cried out to God, God changed his name to Israel. His brother came. He was expecting a war, and his brother hugged him. Offered him to come with him, join him, embraced him, forgave him. No. Again, that's what we've been fed. Yeah, but I saw something different. Yeah, with my own. Yeah, I ain't believing nothing nowadays. I don't believe nothing. Thank you, Southern Queen, for the flowers and the floating hearts. We got to do better. We got to actually, instead of just reading, Bible says study. Study to show thyself approved. Never said read. He never said read. He says study. He didn't say let somebody study for you. He says study to show thyself approved. So we've been misled right there. When he thought it was going to be a war, his brother embraced him and forgave him. Yeah. Yeah. So that would make more sense to me why we got these fake Israel. and the fake, what's his name? BB, not gonna sue me. Then Yahoo, yeah, him taking on a biblical scriptures and have tried to reincarnate it to steal land, to steal Gaza. And your president has joined in and has invested in the takeover because they have a Hitler mindset. They have a Christopher Columbus mindset. And so they're making America great again is stealing and getting free labor. Yeah. But the beauty of it is that God said he gon' honor what he said. And in the end, they will be defeated. And that's the hope. That's what we got to hold on to. We got to have faith in that. Faith of a mustard seed, baby. Just a little bit of faith in knowing that his word will be fulfilled. Okay? So the Bible says study to show thyself approved. Thank you, Nelda. Yeah, we got to do better, boo. I ain't falling for none of them bananas in the tailpipe. None of them. None of them. And we got to stop going along. Just going along. For what? To be let down? No. Yeah, so shame on the people who didn't realize SNAP was food stamps and that they know they getting them, even though maybe they neighbors and church and everybody don't know they getting them. I don't know. But SNAP for the deep red and the red who thought that it was just a blue thing, since he said he was going after the blue. So maybe he didn't know. I don't know. But I do know that food stamps, welfare, government assistance was not created for black people. We only got allowed to partake when there came our equal rights. And then it became a bad thing. But when they was getting it by themselves, it was a privilege. It was a privilege for the government to assist them. Yes. They have free money for us. They have free groceries for us. Yeah. Until black people or other race of people were able to get this privilege. Oh, now that they're on it. Oh no. Oh my God. It's a handout. Yeah. See how the tables turn? See how the tables turn. A lot of people are starting to see the only way they understand. So, when did the name change? Where did SNAP come from? Oh no! I mean, I know people didn't know this, but I get food stamps. Hell, what does it say on the? Oh, you didn't know EBT is food stamps? I mean, SNAP is EBT. I mean, you know, that's how they pass laws. You know, when we was listening to them go over when they had to read this big, beautiful bill, and they would reword it in some places. And it's like, okay, now what is that? Oh, he talking about Medicaid. I mean, so why did they, okay, they said Medicaid, Medicare over here. So why did they say it a different way over there? Oh, they talking about snaps? Oh, okay, so we're talking about the only for the, oh, so why did they say it like that? They talking about WIC? Yeah. They switch it up. throughout the bill. You understand? They switched it up throughout the bill to throw people off. Hey, Janet. And that's why a lot of the red didn't understand that SNAP was food stamps. And now they having a hissy fit. Yeah. Carry on. Y'all coming in, hitting the like button. Let me finish this up over here. Yeah. Deep red.
Ford is his name, by the way. So we now have 25 states plus the District of Columbia that have joined into this lawsuit. And believe it or not, as we see with Nevada, we're starting to get more and more red states signing on, including some very deep red states. Nevada, obviously considered a bit of a swing state, but we've got some solid decades-long red states that are also suing the Trump administration for their choice to cut SNAP benefits. The current states that have signed on to this lawsuit are Arizona, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Hawaii, Illinois, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, North Carolina, Oregon, Rhode Island, Vermont, Washington, Wisconsin, District of Columbia, Kansas, Kentucky, and Pennsylvania. 62% of SNAP beneficiaries have children. So 62% of the people that are about to lose their benefits starting this weekend
have kids,
will not be able to feed their children. 37% of the people receiving SNAP benefits have disabilities. I'm seeing more and more videos coming out from these so-called conservative influencers like, you ought to learn to stretch your dollars better. What are you doing? You're buying ribeye steaks at Walmart with your SNAP benefits. No, they're not. And you know how we know they're not doing this? Because y'all aren't posting photos and videos of them, right? If you conservative influencers actually saw somebody walk up to the register with ribeyes and lobster tails, trying to pay for it with their EBT, you would video that crap, and it would be all over Fox News every single day. The fact that that is not happening, all you can do is say, oh, I saw this. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. The average SNAP benefits for a family here in the United States is $231 a month. A month! Do the quick math on
Not
that,
with
folks.
kids.
What does that come out to per week? Less than $60.
Not with kids.
You show me anywhere in this country where SNAP beneficiaries are going and buying ribeyes for their whole family on $60 a week. It simply isn't happening. These benefits are
It started out at $230, but the more kids you have, it's added. More money is added.
Dollar stores. They're not able to buy all the junk food and snack food that everybody says they are. They're feeding themselves, but most importantly, they're feeding their children. And it's not, super nutritious, wonderful things all the time because they don't have enough money to afford it. And this administration is willing to let their own citizens starve. They're willing to let children starve just so you blame the Democrats for the
They were willing to help Argentina, other countries. So you're going to take my money, because I pay taxes to come out my check, so I can have a voice. I can have one. I paid into it. I can have a voice. You taking my money and starving my country and giving to another country that I don't know nothing about, may not even be welcome over there. I don't know. But you're going to take my money? Oh, and Lord and heaven knows when my bonuses come. You take 33%. I mean, I be subject, oh my God, to go back in the old days, baby, and be like, I need to change that. I'm going exempt. Yes, I used to do that. Absolutely. I don't do it no more. But baby, when your bonus, woo, and they tell you, oh, it's gonna be, and then when you get it, it's like, what? Yeah, I have the right to say what the fuck I want to say, cause you using my money. Yeah, and I don't want my money going to a foreign country over my country. I don't want to feed over there when we can't feed over here. Now, if we have some extra to donate, by all means. But we're not going to bypass the U.S. to feed nobody, not with my money. It's time to get his ass up out of there. And that's how I feel. That's how I feel. Yeah.
And this administration is willing to let their own citizens starve. They're willing to let children starve just so you blame the Democrats for the shutdown. That's what this is all about.
Your lying ass.
Kids going to bed hungry so that their parents will blame the Democrats.
Manipulation.
Is
It's lying.
the point, folks. And I cannot emphasize that enough. This administration could easily, with the stroke of a pen, keep those SNAP benefits flowing. But as this lawsuit points out, they are choosing
intentionally
to not do that.
Intentionally. Intentionally. To prove a point. So that we'll stop talking about the Epstein file. Because see, this right now feels like a punishment. Okay, y'all keep talking about the Epstein files, and I said, "Are we still talking about this?" Okay, then I'm start ripping all the extras that I provide, like it's coming out your pocket, just like you paid for the wall, just like you acting like you don't get no paycheck. Oh yeah, you don't want that 400,000 that you are supposed to get because you want to line your pockets every damn month with millions of our money. Yeah. Well, what about the people who take advantage? What about the people who just, that's still our money. And if we don't have a right to say, no, I don't want to pay taxes without going to jail and prison, then we expect for it to do what it has always done. And yes, there are some who's going to take advantage. But you are punishing everybody. And that's a problem. Especially when your ass is fat, ankles swollen, face, and you got turkey necks and shit. You stay stuffed. But you want to starve people that in the blue states. Stop taking the blue states' money. I am so sick of people making excuses for Trump and his lying administration. It makes no sense. And now it wasn't a problem when people thought it was just the blue states. So this is why it's not good to have a heart condition. So the people who was okay with it being blue states, you have a heart condition. Because the blue states want everybody to eat. The blue states want everybody to eat. We ain't never said, oh, red states don't. We ain't never said that. We want everybody to eat. And if it was left up to us, hell, everybody would have some place to stay. We would be more apt to fix the homeless situation. And let's just keep it real. Yeah. So God he positioned it where, oh, the light bulb came on. And you realized, oh, hell, that mean me too. Yeah, that mean you too. I can't be faking the funk now. No, you can't fake the funk. They finna cut off yours too. They not just cutting it off in blue states. They cutting it off in yours too. Oh, and remember, we here because Trump wanted us to stop talking about the Epstein files. And again, the blue states didn't give a shit left, right, black or white who on it. We wanted everybody exposed. See how that worked? The red states, we gonna keep it real, only wanted the blue states exposed. But when y'all found out, baby, it's more red state senators and governors and homeboys and shit up in there. They're like, oh, pump the brakes. Pump the brake, pump the brake. Because the reality of it is trumpet. Although them Clintons was blue state, hell, they still pro-Israel. So what the fuck are you doing? Oh, shit, AunTeaFee, what you say? Oh, Lord. Oh, did I say that? Did I say that? Did I let it slip out my mouth? Yeah. We gonna call a spade a spade. Yeah. They may be Democrats, but it's this bigger than Democrat. Trump, hell. You used to be registered Democrat. You said you only switched to Republican because their asses was dumb. Remember that? Trumpet? Do the red states know that? That you was blue? Oh, my bad. Absolutely. So when you dangled that carrot, trying to expose the Clintons, rightfully so. Glad you did. Let's keep it real. It don't matter who they are. They need to go down. It's like how disheartening it was to hear George Clooney last night. Oh, that was horrible. But I don't care who he is. He like fooling with, and he don't see a problem with taking cookies from teenagers. That's a problem. I don't give a shit. It's a moral thing over a black or white or red or blue. What's wrong with us? They have made that shit a norm. That's normal for them. Yeah. But what Trump, with his demented mind, forgot was that them Clintons is pro-Israel for real. They invested for real. So it ain't about red or blue. It's about pro-Israel, right? And the investment. And stay focused, Trump. We trying to steal land. We trying, come on now. Don't forget the plan. We gonna rebuild. We got these resorts that look like a resort that are club members only. Golf and everything, but on the inside, each state you have your pick, your little child that you done paid for. Yeah. Yeah. Your timeshare. Yeah. That is really human trafficking on the inside. But on the outside, it looked like, whoo. I mean, forget 5-star. It looked like, whoo, on the outside. But a whole torture on the inside with you dirty old men. So that's why they don't want them files to go out. He mad because he can't change the narrative and we won't shoot. He wants to shoot us and say, go on now. Go on to something else. Look, I'm bombing. I'm bombing Venezuela. I don't care. We gonna act like it's drug. No. I'm bombing. Talk about the bombing. Qatar. You let terrorists come in our country on our soil and build nuclear weapons. A whole Air Force base. They're gonna bring their people over. You think they gonna hire citizens to see what they doing? To spy on them? Know where they gonna plant their little bombs in the U.S.? In the wee hours of night? Sleepers? Yeah, that's what they call. Yeah. You think they're gonna make job opportunities for us in our country? Y'all president got a whole airplane for that. He done made deals. Because y'all thought it was fit to put a convicted felon in office. And you wonder why he cutting off everything. He got a plan with foreign countries. And you ain't a part of it. And the red states ain't either. Because his deal is with foreign land. And he is funneling, smuggling our money to the foreign countries. And if y'all don't believe that Epstein is still alive, y'all crazy as hell. He over in Israel. He in some foreign country. Still getting deposits because he is still trafficking. He's still blackmailing. And that 130 mil that was donated by way of a banker, yeah. Don't be surprised if that wasn't Epstein. Nim. Okay, good people, I gotta go. I can't keep giving y'all, I can't keep preaching and y'all not supporting and y'all ain't even hitting the like button. Shout out to the ones who have supported and sent some jewels and gems and stuff. Thank you. Well, we got to stop playing. We got to stop being at odds with red and blue. And just come together and be purple. Ain't purple royal? Don't you bring red and blue, them primary colors make purple? Yeah, let's focus on being purple. By coming together and seeing that he playing both. How about that? Can we wise up? Can we join together, rise up? Because we can't rise until we join forces and see that the devil is playing everybody against each other and laughing in our face. Trolling. That's what Trump is doing. He trolled. He's the first president that's a troll. Yeah, that's laughing in our face. That's playing in our face. Okay, good people. We got to wake up. I don't have no problems with nobody until they begin to have a problem with me. If somebody that ain't black find themselves in a situation and in harm, and I'm right there, they have an accident and the car is about to burn up, you think I'm not going to try to help? You think I'm going to say, oh, nah, he white, let him burn? No. My first instinct is going to be to help. I seen a car drive off to the side and hit a brick wall. An old white man was driving. He ran over there to see what was going on. Did somebody shoot this man? How did this happen? What happened? Diabetic something. The man passed out. I mean, you just help. And we got to understand, if you have a heart condition and if you try to come up with reasons why not to help, or how they used to do black people, or how, whatever it is that you try to find a reason to justify your mindset, you need to understand that the favor is unto God. That becomes a you and God problem. Everybody has to be accountable for their actions, and we have to trust and believe that if they are doing something wrong or unjust, that's between them and God. They don't have nothing to do with me. So the favor, the love for one another, is the love of God. And it don't matter what color you are. That needs to be in us so that we can teach that to your kids. And let God do what God is going to do with them. They have to stand account. I don't want God me to go before God and he have to tell me where I got points taken off of why my salvation is being questioned, and then I'm up here trying to rationalize and hustle God by saying, well, God, coming up with 50 million excuses before God. You think that is going to work? God is going to say, what did I tell you to do? But the president, my cousin Ray, what did I say do? Y'all, we got to take that on. We got to take that on in our everyday life in order to move past that. And remember that our purpose on here is his purpose, his will, his way. Ain't gonna always be ours. But if you got a heart condition, it's time for you to get it right now. Everybody's supposed to eat. That ain't just gangster talk. That's real talk. That's God talk. So we gonna need to blend red and blue and make purple. Stand royal and solid. Stand up against the devil. Put on our armor. And we don't need to do that for one ourselves. We need to do it for God. I don't care nothing about that over there. Yes, we went through it. Yes, we overcame it. Yes, we are strong. Yes, we can survive. Yes, we know that. We don't have to prove nothing to nobody. We know we strong. We know we built tough. We are the originators. What do we expect? We are not black on purpose. I mean, not on, we're on purpose. It's not a mistake. It's on purpose. Most black people are already saying we gonna be okay. Yeah, we all right. We gonna be all right. We know how. Yeah, we yeah, we already done figured out. Okay, so what we gonna do? Yeah, they want the food stamps, yes, but baby, push come to shove, we gonna be okay. It's the red states that's gonna have a problem. I mean, it's some of us in the red states too, but you get the picture. So yes, we've been dealt what it appears as a bad hand. But one thing is for sure. We wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have the things. We wouldn't have the buildings. We wouldn't have a majority of the inventions. We would not have had the progress if it wasn't for black people. They just want to take the credit. We know we got the muscle. We know we did it. We know we first. We know they came from us. We know that. We know that they needed us. That's why they stole us. Okay? Okay? But we know that God made it that way. Now, why, we don't know. But we going to trust God. That's why we know it's going to be okay in the end. Because he said it. He coming back for his chosen. They mad because we chosen. So they going to whitewash it. Okay, but baby, once they throw some water on that paint, it's still going to come back black. Or brown, or golden, or bronze. I mean, whatever color you want to say it is. It's in the brown family. And I don't mean it disrespectfully. I mean it matter-of-factly. And there's no conspiracy with that. Now, you can make it a conspiracy. You can be in denial if you want to. But where does it originate from? And you ain't never got bronze out of white unless you put suntan lotion on it. I mean, that's just what that is. Okay? Yeah, because it's something that's now, I can't even think of what it is. That caress that used to have that burnt something in it that made you orange and not orange, burnt orange. Yeah, if you put something on it, baby, but we are original. We just keep getting brown and browner and browner and browner the longer we in the sun. We don't turn another color up. We stay in the brown family. We go from brown to dark to damn near black. Yeah. Okay, good people. Can I go now? My lunch is over. What time is it? 12:37. Yeah. I'm going to have to stop giving y'all this good stuff like this. Baby, my tea be good. Okay, what? Let's finish this right here. Candace acknowledging, we're trying to acknowledge that her mistake with Trump. Let's go. Now, why you don't want to go now? What's wrong? Oh, they didn't get the likes up. It's stuck, y'all. Okay, I gotta go. I don't know why it's stuck. What is it? This wasn't a Trump decision. What? Oh. Oh, Lord. I done hit the volume.
Quote, you regret voting for Trump. This is not
y'all
about
hit the like button.
Trump over Biden or Trump over Kamala. That's not what this is about. This is about the guy that you supported breaking every single promise he made, which we've been saying it indisputable since he started breaking all the promises he made. Okay, let's get into it. Candace Owens turns on Trump, saying she's embarrassed. She told people to go vote for him. This was a comment during Piers Morgan's show. I'm glad Piers posed the question the way he did. Trump's base has faced division in recent days over Trump's handling of the Israel-Iran conflict. Owens added, quote, this was not Trump's decision. It was Bibi Netanyahu's decision, Owens told Morgan, referring to the prime minister of Israel. Quote, and that is the reason that he did it. We're very aware that Israel is dictating our foreign policy. And we now like that to stop. Let me remind everybody that Donald Trump is, in fact, an adult. He's a grown human being. He's a grown-ass man. And that means that his decisions as commander-in-chief are his decisions, regardless of what was the catalyst or the influence for said decision. When will Trump supporters simply do one thing? Allow Trump to be completely, holistically accountable for his own decisions, rather than continuing to provide a level of measure or be an apologist for his blunders. So another quote, it's all the same rhetoric dating back to 9/11. All of the same tactic, trying to smear people who are against this war as jihadists, she said, adding that the war between Iran and Israel is simply not our business. Yes, you've been saying that. Trump said he agreed with you. As a matter of fact, when President Obama was in the White House, it was Donald Trump who said Obama will go to war with Iran because he's weak. He doesn't know how to negotiate. He went on and on. You all championed the position of the con artist rather than championing the position of the individual who actually gave a damn about the country. There's more. Quote,
The podcast support podcast.
What's the problem?
My guest froze mid-recording, and now that's literally in the episode.
But that's the thing. Zoom is built for calls, and Riverside is built for podcasts. On Zoom, like every lag, every glitch, it's stuck in your final file.
You notice how it always kind of sounds like a Zoom call?
Exactly. Riverside records locally on everyone's devices. So even if the internet...
There was no imminent threat to the United States when Trump made this decision to do what Bibi wanted. She said, referring to Israel's prime minister, quote, this was not Trump's decision, it was Bibi Netanyahu's decision, and that is the reason that he did it. We're very aware that Israel is dictating our foreign policy, and we'd now like that to stop. So, Candace, if it's not Trump's decision, but it was actually Netanyahu's decision, that means that Trump is being controlled by a foreign entity.
Absolutely.
So maybe that foreign entity is not Russia.
And that's why
that foreign entity in this
y'all
case,
not getting
your
the Epstein file.
Proclamation.
That's why
is
he's
Israel,
punishing the
Israeli
United
government.
States.
When we talk about biblical context for Israel, I want to remind everyone the biblical context was not the government or the military war machine.
Absolutely.
Israel. We're talking about people. We're talking about individuals.
Absolutely.
We're talking about the collective. And last time I checked, the majority of those in Israel actually opposed Benjamin Netanyahu. Last time I checked, there were soldiers and former soldiers of the Israeli military who signed a document stating that Netanyahu is out of control.
Absolutely. This is why I don't line it up with when people are talking about it's biblical. Yeah, because hold on. Absolutely. This is why I don't agree with all of that. This is about two brothers. Nope. That's what he want. That's what they want us to line it up with. Because they know that that's where we're going to go. See, y'all have to remember that Netanyahu, he was raised in New York. I keep saying West Philadelphia, but in Philly. He went to school, high school, soccer, lacrosse. Yeah. Yes. We gotta not forget that. He got into politics here on U.S. soil. He had the Social Security, and he had a whole bunch of fake stuff. Fake name, several fake foreign names. He's a convicted felon. Even in Poland. Yeah. He got American name and Social Security number. Government tied, CIA. Yeah, all of that. So no. Don't tell me it's about two brothers in the Bible. Because that's not Bibi Netanyahu. This is orchestrated. This is a heist. Can I say it like that? It is a biblical heist. They are rewriting it to fit them so that they can steal. And we got to stop being naive to keep saying, oh, this is between two brothers in the Bible. They made peace. His brother forgave him, embraced him. He came with an army, but he left with love, brotherly love. Why they don't tell that story? Have we ever stopped to think, why they don't ever tell that story? It was shocking to see. Yeah. They don't tell that story. Just like Trump, the fella. Absolutely. So yeah, we gotta stop. We gotta stop. We gotta study for ourselves. We gotta stop reading. Now we know that they had Zionists writing Bibles, rewriting the Bibles. I never understood when them new King James and new NIVs and new, she said Schofield, and why did they? I mean, for all them years, it's just like all of a sudden. You know, when we really stop to think, like the other day, a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to my friend, I was like, do you remember when the little drumettes and the wings came? They just came out of nowhere. They were never on a pop farm. Where they come from? It's like I was talking to my homie. Do you remember when all these restaurants just started popping up? The Bennigan's, the TGI Fridays, and I mean, just it was just like a cluster of different restaurants, and came with all of this processed high cholesterol. I mean, just introduced us to stuff that we never ate before. I remember that. I never put a lot of thought into it up until maybe the last, 5-6 years when everybody's health just went down the drain. But when did we start? Where that come from? Now, what is the monster? What's cheese sticks? What's that? I remember all of that. And everybody started getting fat. Everybody just started getting fat. Before folks was fat off of Big Mama cooking, frying the chicken. That's why they said, when did they replace butter? And then they came out with vegetable oil. Crisco. It's like you remember when Big Mama used to have that little old coffee can full of the bacon grease. And that bacon grease would be reused. Here I go. Yeah. Y'all remember them cans? Huh? Do y'all remember that? Every time they fry that bacon, they would have that can on the stove. A lot of times they have that ketchup to catch them crumbs, and the crumbs would go in the trash. But that good grease would go in that can and would be reused to cook again. Then all of a sudden they had liquefied their own grease, made it sound healthy, and said it was made from vegetables. What vegetables make oil? We thought it was, we done came up. Only poor folk reuse they grease from bacon. So you had to have some vegetable oil in your cabinet. Yeah, you see how they did us? You see how they did us? They started doing this new and improved stuff. Hell yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, so some foods you cook, you can't, it just don't, it don't get down to the nitty-gritty, baby, unless you have some of that old grease in it. They don't know what I'm talking about. They say I'm old. They say I'm old. Some of them folk who think they know everything ain't been around long enough to know the truth. Since they want to say I'm old, huh? Girl thought she was gonna roast with me one time, and she said, AunTeaFee, how you know I can't hang with you? Shit, because you ain't been around long enough to know how to ride with me. You can't rumble with me. Hell, some of the shit in life you don't know nothing about. Because you ain't been nowhere. You ain't seen nothing. You ain't experienced nothing. Y'all couldn't hang. Hell you mean you want to argue with me? I'ma eat your ass up. Yeah. I'ma eat you up. Because you don't know no better. Because you sheltered in the head and you think you entitled on the cool. That's black, white, and whatever color you think you are. Because y'all ain't been through nothing. So you better leave me alone. Because I'm going to eat you up. Yeah. They don't know nothing about them grease. Oh, you say I'm 60 living my best life. Oh, well, go on, Miss Harris. Go on, Nelda. They don't know nothing about it. They don't know nothing about how Big Mama and my dear baked them cakes with that grease. She didn't use that grease. That's when Crisco came out. So before that, it was butter. And we wonder why we sick. Because they done manipulated for them to make money. So tell my sisters, oh, I wish we get to the point where we don't have to stop going to them doctors because they are not here to heal you. They're going to keep trying different medicines that's tainted. That's going to give you a side effect. Not now one of them natural herbs. Say don't take this because it may cause that. When you take this to heal this, it's going to cause that to go wrong. Now one of them. Y'all, we ain't never thought about that, have we? I mean, I guess we do, but we don't. Because we believe everything the doctors say. Now, I'm not saying we don't never need to go to the doctor. But our first instinct need to be natural herbs. And the worst thing they could have done for me is introduce to me naturally how to build my immune system without a shot. To ward off whatever they send our way. Because, baby, when they didn't have a cocktail, they relied on God's natural herbs. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? If that wasn't an eye-opener for everybody, you just want to be blind. Let me say it again. If that wasn't an eye-opener for everybody, you just want to be blind. They got you right where they want you. So once they came up with a cocktail that they couldn't tell you what was in it, they said, now stop taking God's natural herbs. And if you don't stop taking it, you may lose your job. What? Yeah. It's gonna be a requirement that we need y'all to take this cocktail. Now, we don't know what's all in it? Hold it. And if we do, we don't want to tell you. Now we know we told you to take these supplements that has gotten y'all feeling mighty fine. But now we want y'all to stop taking it. Because now we got to make money off y'all. They said that, didn't it? That's what they indirectly was saying. Yeah. When we couldn't make money off y'all, we told you what to take. So there really is healing out there. But we want to regulate and keep you sick one way or another. My. And we serious about it. Because our money was funny when y'all was getting healthy. Will you look at that? Now we got to recoup. So everybody need to take this shot. I'ma take it, he'll take it, she'll take it. We all gonna take it. So why don't y'all follow us and go and take it too? Oh, my. Y'all see that? Y'all see how they played in our face? And if you refuse to take it, you can't come back to the office. Yeah, Miss Fee, I know you like coming to the corporate office, but you gonna have to work from home if you don't want that shot. Where am I at right now? Yeah. Y'all see I'm at home. Y'all better wake up, man. That's all I'm gonna say. Y'all better stock up on them natural herbs because they already forecasting. That means that they already in works of making a virus or creating one that's going to be 10 times worse. So imagine what's going to be in that cocktail. Lord have mercy. But you see, I showed y'all for the ones of y'all who came in late. Let me end on this. We got it early. And now they have came up with the cocktail. Natural this time. For y'all that Gates and Fauci.
Then you can pop in.
Hold on. For you to detox them shots. And yes, it's natural herbs. Oh, now that's the AIDS guy. Now he was the AIDS guy. Hold on. I'm sorry that the as I die. Slowly. Yeah. As I die slowly. Yeah, not him. Yeah, I'm talking about the other doctor with the virus. Who's saying here is what y'all need to take to detox, cause it's pretty bad. Yeah. Hold on. So y'all can write this down. Y'all get your pen and paper. Yeah. Record this. Yeah. He yeah. Cause it says pretty bad, but there's some natural herbs out there. It's 3 of them. One of them, thank God I had. I don't know why I was taking it, but I had it here.
So yesterday was a historic day as the very first detoxification protocol was published in the U.S. medical literature that gives people a chance to take this whole issue into their own hands and use natural substances to begin to help the body clear this very dangerous protein from its cells and tissues. And it involves 3 natural substances that are available over the counter at any type of online retailer or at a natural food store or pharmacy. And they are nattokinase, which is an enzyme that's derived from the fermentation of soy, bromelain, which is a set of enzymes derived from the stems of pineapple. By the way, bromelain is a U.S. FDA-approved drug.
3
as
months.
A topical treatment for wounds.
12 months if you took the multi-shot.
Derived from turmeric. The doses of nattokinase are 2,000 units twice a day, bromelain 500 milligrams a day, and curcumin 500 milligrams 3 times a day. The duration in this publication, and
hit the like button, y'all. They're telling you how to get that out your system.
Is at least 3 months. I think for people who have taken multiple shots, 12 months or more. So yesterday was a historic day as the very first detoxification protocol was published in the U.S. medical literature that gives people a chance to take this whole issue into their own hands and use natural substances to begin to help the body clear this very
give me a 1 if y'all still here and can hear this.
Dangerous protein from its cells and tissues. And it involves 3 natural substances that are available over the counter at any type of online retailer or at a natural food store or pharmacy. And they are nattokinase, which is an enzyme that's derived from the fermentation of soy, bromelain, which is a set of enzymes derived from the stems of pineapple. By the way, bromelain is a U.S. FDA-approved drug as a topical treatment for wounds. And then the third is curcumin, derived from turmeric. The doses of nattokinase are 2,000 units twice a day, bromelain 500 milligrams a day, and curcumin 500 milligrams 3 times a day. The duration in this publication, and I'm the first author, so I'm the one to bring this forward, is at least 3 months. I think for people who have taken multiple shots, 12 months or more. So yesterday was
understand if you took that 2-shot
detoxification protocol was published
you need
in
to
the
go
U.S. medical literature that
12
gives
months.
people a chance to take this whole issue into their own hands and use natural substances to begin to help the body clear this very dangerous protein from its cells and tissues. And it involves 3 natural substances that are available over the counter at any type of...
What do he mean, dangerous? Dangerous is designed to unalive you. Do you understand? It was designed to, over a course of time, to unalive you. It is designed, they say, I'm not a doctor, they say, over a course of time to start attacking your autoimmune organs. Yeah. So for him to say dangerous, see, I would have said toxic. He said dangerous. So here we go again. A doctor is telling you what God-given supplements to take to get that dangerous cocktail, and it's not a simple fix because what they injected is time release. So y'all need to snap a picture and record how in the milligrams per day you need to take to get that dangerous cocktail out of your system. Yeah, I'm finna go. This is gonna be my last go around.
Online retailer or at a natural food store or pharmacy. And they are nattokinase, which is an enzyme that's derived from the fermentation of soy, Bromelain, which is a set of enzymes derived from the stems of pineapple. By the way, bromelain is a U.S. FDA-approved drug as a topical treatment for wounds. And then the third is curcumin, derived from turmeric. The doses of nattokinase are 2,000 units twice a day, bromelain 500 milligrams a day, and curcumin 500 milligrams 3 times a day. The duration in this publication, and I'm the first author, so I'm the one to bring this forward, is at least 3 months. I think for people who have taken multiple shots, 12 months or more. So yesterday was a historic day as the very first detoxification protocol